Text from a single document can speak to us across the ages through oaths, commands, pardons, and hopes expressed for the future. The Tachibana clan archive documents 5 centuries of the family's history, an important legacy that should be preserved for future generations. During the Sengoku period, Bekki Dōsetsu, later known as Tachibana Dōsetsu, served as a senior vassal to the Otomo clan, the preeminent daimyo family in Kyushu. He distinguished himself in many battles, became lord of Tachibana Castle in Chikuzen province, and pacified his new territory. Dōsetsu had no sons, so his legacy was passed down to his daughter, Ginchiyo, and son-in-law, Tachibana Muneshige, a talented young man who later became a military commander, whose achievements even caught the eye of Toyotomi Hideyoshi. This marriage and its succession shaped the Tachibana clan, feudal lords of the early modern period. As Dōsetsu had no natural sons, arrangements were made for him to adopt a male heir for the Tachibana lineage from among the sons of his nephew, Shigetsura, who had already been appointed heir of the Bekki clan. However, Dōsetsu ultimately chose to appoint his daughter, Ginchiyo, as heir to the Tachibana lineage. Dōsetsu's superiors, Lords Yoshimune and Sorin, confirmed their approval through this joint letter, making Ginchiyo a female castle lord. These events took place 6 years before Muneshige was brought into the family as Dōsetsu's son-in-law. The Shimazu army advanced northward to conquer all of Kyushu and laid siege to Tachibana Castle, which was at that time defended by Muneshige. They demanded the castle's surrender, but Muneshige refused, stating that Tachibana Castle was the origin of his family name. He also expected reinforcements from the Mori clan to arrive soon, in addition to a large quantity of firearms sent by order of Hideyoshi. Upon receiving this news, the Shimazu forces lifted their siege and began to withdraw. Sensing the opportunity, Muneshige launched a surprise attack on Takatori Castle, which was held by Shimazu's allies, the Hoshino clan. After fierce fighting, Muneshige captured the castle. Word of the battle reached Hideyoshi, who praised Muneshige, describing him as without equal in Kyushu. Hideyoshi addressed this letter to Onkoku Jieke, Kuroda Yoshitaka, and Miyaki Katayoshi. The Kuroda clan originally kept the letter, but the Tachibana requested it from the Kuroda at the beginning of the 17th century. The Tachibana must have considered the letter to be evidence of a great honor to their family. Upon completing his subjugation of Kyushu, Hideyoshi granted Muneshige the 4 districts of Yamato, Mizuma, Shimozuma, and Miyike in Chikugo province in a letter dated June 25, 1587. Miyike district was then given to Muneshige's younger brother Takahashi Naotsugu. Muneshige then moved the seat of his power from Tachibana Castle to Yanagawa. Having received proof of the territories he had been granted directly from Hideyoshi, Muneshige was able to rise above his previous status as a vassal of the Otomo clan and become an independent feudal lord, daimyo, in his own right. Having become a ronin, or masterless samurai, after losing his territories following the defeat of Toyotomi at the Battle of Sekigahara in 1600, Muneshige went to Kyoto to await the arrival of the victorious Tokugawa Ieyasu. In this letter addressed to his vassal Tachibana Kenga, Muneshige described how courteously Ieyasu had treated him, and indicated that his own fate would likely be decided during Ieyasu's journey to Kyoto. However, his hopes were in vain. No decisions were taken, forcing him to continue living the life of a ronin until 1606, 6 years after the battle. 20 years after losing his territories, Muneshige was miraculously restored to his old position as daimyo of Yanagawa domain. He spent his later years enjoying the deep trust of the Tokugawa shoguns Hidetada and Iemitsu. He retired, became a monk, and took the Buddhist name Risai. This is a letter to his son Tadashige. It describes how he accompanied the shogun Iemitsu on a visit to Sakai Tadakatsu's villa the day before. When Tadakatsu mentioned that it was cold, Iemitsu gave him a cap and permitted Muneshige to wear it in his presence. As Muneshige wrote in his letter, being allowed to wear a head covering in the presence of the shogun was unprecedented, showing the exceptional favor he enjoyed.
橘家文書は柳川藩109,600石と藩主でありました橘家に伝わった室町時代から明治時代に至るまでの古文書で約14,600通に及ぶ非常に大規模な古文書群です。10万石規模の大名家の典型的な文書として質そして量ともに優れておりまして、近世の大名家を研究する上で、一つの基準となる重要な資料というふうに評価されております。橘家文書はいくつかの文書群で構成されておりますけれども、中でもここで紹介いたします橘文書は大名橘家においてですね、最も大切に保管された文書群で、内容は歴代藩主に関わる古文書で構成されております。橘家はもともと戦国大名大友氏の家臣として活動しておりましたが、その後豊臣秀吉によって橘宗茂が大名に取り立てられております。こういった背景からですね、戦国時代に大名大友氏から別記同説に宛てた手紙などが残っておりますし、特に豊臣秀吉から宗茂に宛てた書状、そして刀狩り令や海賊長辞令など秀吉が発給した文書というのは他の大名家の文書と比べても非常に多く残っております。このほか柳川藩政資料などには藩の奥向きに関する日記であるとか記録が豊富に残っておりまして、こういったものから藩主家の日常などを伺い知ることができます。
The Yanagawa Prefectural Archives preserve and conduct research on documents such as these, sharing their value with future generations. The Tachibana Clan Archive documents 5 centuries of the family's history, an important legacy that should be preserved for future generations.